The Morning Drive is sponsored by Power Metallic. To find out more about the company, please visit their website at powermetallic.com. Follow the Money Investor Group is a 100% Indigenous-owned company and certified with the Canadian Council for Aboriginal Business.
Max,
Great to see you.
great to see you again with the dog.
Your Shlomo's back.
Hey, come on, you gotta go for a ride. Oh yeah. All right, well, let's catch up on your some of your personal life, and you can touch on some developments with the company. What are you doing? You setting off buttons here? It's all right. Okay.
He's anxious. He had a bath today.
Nice. Yeah, I try to get the dogs bathed every Saturday or every other Saturday. What's going on, man? How's life?
Life's good. We just wrapped up our drilling campaign just over a month ago. Assays just got to the lab a few days ago and are awaiting results. And then everything else is kind of in due process to get completed just in the nick of time.
Right. So, last year was a rough year, not just for you, but for a lot of companies. And I'm sure you'll say, "Oh, I'm not happy with where the market cap is right now." But what are your thoughts?
Well, it certainly has been a tough market. Along this process, we have had many ups and downs, and that's inherent of a business like exploration. So we just got to maintain, the long-term vision and work to that. And I think we definitely have on all fronts, whether it be advancing our most advanced discoveries at Rainbow and Pine Bay, developing our newest discovery at Descendant, testing other target areas, as well as bringing the new ground to the north that we just acquired, kind of the forefront for exploration moving forward, as we've just struck a deal with Teck. And that is a piece of ground that truly has a tremendous amount of exploration potential, but hasn't been followed up due to a long-term back-end right that was there that Teck controlled. So we've made a lot of progress over the past 12 months, irrespective of what the share price has done. And ultimately, that's what you're looking to drive is long-term value, and long-term value will certainly get realized in the share price at some point.
Yeah. I would imagine that was a relatively easy deal to put together with Teck, even though it's hard dealing with majors. But would that sound accurate, or?
Well, I mean, no transactions easy per se, but certainly they were great to work with. We're really glad to have them as a supportive shareholder of the company, and ultimately, most importantly, we're really excited to be able to expand our exploration footprint to the north. That was a piece of ground that we've been eyeing and attempted to do a deal on once previously, going back 8 years in total. So to get it, to be able to execute a timely agreement with Teck to terminate that back-end provision, and now put us in a position as we're doing all the data compilation to begin exploring there in an area that we believe has a lot of potential to host more than one discovery. Quite eager to do, and quite excited by what we've accomplished so far on that property, because it was significant.
So for maybe those that haven't been involved in a deal like that, which I'm sure there's many people watching that haven't, where do those conversations start with Teck?
Well, in terms of the conversations, we've had a long-standing relationship with Teck, as we do with many others. So the relationship was already there. I think that was what yielded the ability to get a transaction done quickly, and come to terms with that, is having a pre-existing relationship. So it wasn't too out of the ordinary as conversations have with anybody else. Just, hey, as a heads up, there's this back end, can we talk about it? One thing leads to another, and you go back and forth, come to an agreement, and then ink the deal. So it's no different than anything else.
So what else do you have going on? I mean, you're waiting on assays. You've got the deal with Teck.
Yeah, so we've done a lot of work in the background. I think a lot of focus gets put on the business, obviously, on the most exciting part, which is the exploration and the drilling. But we've done a tremendous amount of work behind the scenes with our engineering team, that has broadened beyond just bringing on Peter about a year and a half ago, who's a member of our team, and as well as we've been working with AECOM. And AECOM is a consulting firm that does a lot of the baseline studies, environmental work, closure plans for the past producing mines in Manitoba. And so they've been working with us as we look to permit the next stage of permitting for the project, specifically at Rainbow and Pine Bay with an advanced exploration permit. And what that allows us to do is eventually move forward with ramping down to the deposit, taking a bulk sample, and providing a platform for underground exploration moving forward in that particular area of the property, which is a key milestone. It's really the halfway through permitting, as your final permit that you would go after subsequently to that would be your environmental license, which will allow for full-blown production. So again, all that work was done over the past year since we put out the high-grade resource at Rainbow and Pine Bay deposits, and now we're looking to submit that AEP application in the coming months, which will be the next step for the permitting process. In terms of timelines there, you're looking anywhere from a 6 to maybe 18-month timeline on the short end of the equation, and then on the very, very long end of the equation to get that permit. So again, we want to get that submitted because it is a timely process. And again, aside from building a high-grade resource on the property, which is our 100% focus, we want to drive those discoveries forward with the permitting so that you're unlocking a lot of value intrinsically, not only with the drill bit, but de-risking the assets and getting them ready for a production decision in the future.
Well, we're going to leave some there for the webinar with Ashley, so please go in the description below and sign up for the town hall webinar with Max and Ashley, where he's going to go into a little bit more details about what the company has going on, and he might even have assay results at that point. Personally, what have you been up to in the last 6 to 8 months, aside from business?
Well, truly, it's been all business across the board, as we really focus on getting that hole drilled, and then of course advancing everything we just discussed. So I spent a bit of time with my family down in Texas over the holidays. Went prawning with a friend, which is obviously one of the benefits of living in the Pacific Northwest.
What's prawning? I mean, it sounds stupid, I don't know, but I actually don't know. So,
well, you just put a trap down in about 200 feet of water with bait, and then the prawns come in, or shrimp.
Yeah.
Similar to shrimp, same family, and you just pull up the trap, and that's the extent of the experience. So it's like fishing, but much more low key.
Oh, okay.
Relaxed environment with less to do.
And where do you go to do that?
We can do it anywhere around here, but I was visiting a friend over off Vancouver Island, and the area is actually known for these specific type of spot prawns. A large portion of them actually get exported to Asia. So when you have an opportunity, you have a friend that's got a boat, and you got some downtime, it's certainly an experience to check out.
Nice. Has Texas changed much there?
No, Texas is about the same. I think it's growing significantly. You've had a huge diaspora from certain areas of the United States to some of these lower tax jurisdictions like Texas, like Nevada, and so you're seeing a lot of that influx in terms of population. So Texas is certainly growing, and it's great to see. It's always been, a business-friendly state.
Yeah.
And I think those policies they put in place and maintained over the decades is certainly working out for Texas.
Well, you're a pretty intellectual guy. I think you read a lot, and you understand markets and some politics. So I'm going to ask you about the 3 T's. Trump, Trudeau, and tariffs. I mean, Trudeau is obviously resigning, but still going to have an impact. A lot of damage has been done, but I'm going to hand it over to you. And what do you think about the 3 T's?
Well, I mean, I think Trump's certainly going to add a lot of volatility to the mix, but that's not to be surprised. You've seen him take action very quickly to make some waves in his thinking and in terms of how he's looking to grow things. I think it's going to be supportive of commodities. On the Trudeau front, I think it was long overdue. certainly welcome. I think it was ultimately inevitable. You kind of look at, some of the communications coming out of leadership coming into the United States, like Trump, and others might have put more pressure onto that situation, which was unique to see play out the way that did play out over the past several weeks. And then in terms of the tariff situation, I think that's the big talking point. All you hear about is tariffs, but not what actually precedes his statements that would lead to tariffs, and that was really securing the border between the United States and Canada. I think certainly there's issues that are prevalent within the immigration policy as well as border within Canada, and that's something that has been highlighted over the past several months, and part of what probably led to Trudeau leaving, on a small extent of that. But again, I think Trump comes in, makes a lot of noise, puts ultimatums on the table to get a deal done, and ultimately the deal he's made very clear is securing the border. So I think ultimately something will be alleviated to that end, and it's just a fear-driven situation that will subside, I think, when everyone gets to the table and realizes, hey, here are the issues that we have from their standpoint in the United States, and this is what we'd like to see, and then have Canada come to the table. I don't think it's going to come to a 25% tariff, but everybody's jumped to that is the kind of key point, which is probably what Trump ultimately wanted in terms of his strategy.
Yeah. Do you think there should be an economic union between the two countries?
Well, I think there already is an economic union between the two countries, not just two countries, but all of North America with the NAFTA Act. That was restruck, if I'm not mistaken, when Trump was last in office. So, again, it's a long-term union. I don't see that union changing by any stretch of the measure. And again, as part of negotiation strategy by Trump, no different than the strategy he's used in very similar fashion across the world with other countries or other situations, even predating politics. I'm sure he uses this strategy in business.
It's been a pretty good morning drive, Max. So is there anything you haven't covered that you kind of want to touch on?
Well, I think it makes sense to discuss base metal prices, in particular copper, given how important they are to certainly our business and what we're doing, but the overall world, and because base metals, again, are the building blocks of the global economy. Copper prices, have remained resilient, quite strong over the past year. You saw them touch, all-time high mid last year, between having, since then, really having a weak last 6 months of 2024. And as we move forward to 2025, we've already had a strong start to the year. Copper futures are pointing towards roughly about $4.40 a pound. And what's really driving this, beyond all this new demand coming online, global infrastructure, electrification, as we've discussed,
fires in California?
Yes, that's certainly going to have an incremental demand as all that gets rebuilt. But beyond that's mine supply, and that's been an issue that we've discussed before. But again, mine supply is really, really underfeeding the smelters globally. You're seeing that with the treatment charges that smelters charge near historic lows because they are being underfed. Not just in China, you're also having the same issues here in North America as well. And I think that, again, the only way you solve that problem is higher prices to incentivize new mines to come online. So again, it's going to be a very constructive 2025 for the base metal space, and we're looking forward to taking advantage of that, on the ground as we grow forward and move forward our discoveries at Pine Bay.
Well, let's hope, in fact, supply demand in the free market does its thing. It should be good for you and shareholders. I am one of them. So again, I'll just remind the audience that Max will be doing a town hall webinar with Ashley. Please go in the description of the video to sign up and add it to your calendar. I will let you go, and thanks again for joining, and probably catch up with you next in Europe or Toronto.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
All right.
I'll see you soon.
Follow the Money Investor Group is a 100% Indigenous-owned company and certified with the Canadian Council for Aboriginal Business.